Hello everyone, this is my life for IR, and today we're doing a bokeh test with the GH5 and the kit lens Lumix 12 to 60mm f3.5 to 5.6, and then I'm going to test also the Sigma 30mm f1.4 lens. I'm going to shoot everything at wide open in video, and I'm going to shoot at very close distance and then move backwards so you can see the bokeh you can get when you get close to the subject, as well as the bokeh when you are shooting from a little bit far away. For example, when you're shooting portrait, you know how much bokeh you can get on a certain lens. So let's start. Right now we're at 12mm f3.5, so you can get really close up to the subject. It's a very nice advantage of GH5 Panasonic Micro Four Thirds system. It's a very close focusing distance. It's very handy when you're shooting product shot or shooting semi-macro shot. Anyway, let's move backwards. I'm gonna move away from the camera now. A bit more. So you can see the background is slowly getting into focus. The separation is diminished as I walk back. There's not much bokeh right now. Okay, now we're gonna zoom in to 18mm on a Lumix lens. This is about 35-36mm in full frame terms. So let's get a close focus. Let's focus. There you go. So this is the maximum bokeh you can get on 18mm, and we're gonna back up. At 18mm, you probably get f4 on this lens. It's not very wide. Gonna back away a little bit more. This is probably where the distance of vlogging when you're holding a camera. Right away from your face, it's probably that distance. Okay, a little bit more. Focus on the camera. There you go. On the camera. Okay. Alright, gonna back up all the way here. I think it's focusing on the background. That would be a problem. Okay. Alright guys, right now we're at 25mm, which is full frame equivalent of 50mm. By the way, the last shot at 18mm was f3.8, not f4. Oh my god, focus, doesn't focus. And right now we're at about 4.3 f-stop. So this is the minimum focus distance here. You can see the bokeh really nice. You get nice compression, you get nice bokeh, blurry background, subject separation is great. Let's move backwards. Unfortunately, the autofocus is not that great. You could try to use manual focus next time. Okay. Remember, this is 25mm. Move back away a little bit more. Okay, you still have some kind of blurry background. It's not much, but it is there. Okay, and here the subject separation is still there. At this focal length, you always have a little bit subject separation as long as the subject is in front of you. But it's not impressive. It's really not impressive. You can see everything going on in the back. You can read the sign in the back very clearly. So, alright guys, now we're at 40mm and f5.4. Yes, f5.4. And this is as close as you can get. So at this point, the bokeh is just really creamy and delicious. Like, it's so soft and nice and smooth. There's no harshness. That's why I love using this lens to shoot, a product, holding up a lens up in the air and just shoot. With this lens, even though it's not super wide, it does create quite a bit of subject separation. It's a very pleasing look. So yeah, we can get even closer like this. Yeah, it's really close. Alright, I'm gonna back up now. Still, you can see quite a bit of bokeh. Back up now, a little bit more. This is about an arm's length. So where you would be, when you vlog with one hand, it's about the distance like that. Remember, it's at 5.4, 5.3-ish. Okay, back up more. So at this focal length, obviously you will have more subject separation. It's actually much easier for the camera to focus when you zoom in so much. It doesn't get distracted by the background, so that's great. Format testing. Okay, at this distance, excuse me, this is the farthest distance I've tried so far, and still you can read the sign quite easily from behind. Right. Okay. Alright guys, so right now we're at 50mm f5.6. At this point, the minimum focus distance will be a little bit longer than when you are at 12mm. So right now we're a little bit farther away from the camera, from the subject. And you can see in the background, it's really smooth, beautiful bokeh. Yeah, I really love this lens. About, you can just get really close and get really nice shot. Alright, I'm gonna move backwards a little bit. Yeah, the bokeh is beautiful. A little bit more. Still very nice bokeh. At 50mm, you can, really magically turn the background into blurry stuff. Okay, cool. Move backwards more. This is probably where you will shoot a portrait shot and a shoulder shot. A little bit more, because this is the maximum distance I go. And quite a bit of subject separation, definitely visible subject separation. It's a very nice and pleasing look. And you can still pick up the sign from behind. Alright, now let's move on to 60mm. Alright guys, this is the final test for the Lumix 12 to 60mm lens. Right now we're at 60mm f5.6. This is the closest I can get without a focus, and it's very similar to 50mm. You get a very smooth background blur. Really love it. I love the look. I'm gonna back up. Nice look still. And here's about an arm's length. Beautiful bokeh. Back up more. More. And here. It's losing focus. Okay. I love the focal range. 12 to 60. 60 is really, really long. 120mm full frame equivalent. It's very convenient when you're shooting on the street, trying to pick out any subject and focus on that subject alone. It's really nice. And here you can see the sign in the back. It's actually a little bit blurred out, so it's much more difficult to read right now than before. That's it for this test for this lens. Now let's switch to the Sigma 30mm lens. We're gonna test With this 30mm lens, you can see that bokeh because it's at f1.4. It's a really wide aperture, so we're gonna see how that looks at different distance from the subject. All right, switch. All right, guys, this is the Sigma 30mm f1.4 lens. As you can see, the depth of field is really shallow. As I move just a little bit forward, the camera will be out of focus. And yeah, let's see if the autofocus can keep up with this test. Right now we're at minimum focus distance. It's about, let's say, 20 something centimeters. Well, on the lens it says 30 centimeters, but I think it's closer than that. Let's move away. So unfortunately it doesn't focus as close as the Lumix kit lens. As you can see here, it's losing focus again. I'm gonna just switch to manual focus because this is such a pain in the ass to use the autofocus. Okay, now we're at manual focus. This is the minimum focus distance physically. Okay, pretty much like I demonstrated before. As you can see, if I move in, forward and backwards a little bit, you can see the movement, the shift of the field depth of field. All right, now let's move backwards. Okay, trying to find focus here. Beautiful bokeh. Backwards more. Oh, by the way, an arm's length is about here. Yeah, this distance. Alright, let me just move back more. Nice and smooth bokeh. You can't read the sign from the back at all. It's completely blurred out. Okay, more. Yeah, still the sign is completely blurred out, so you can see the difference between f1.4 and, for example, f4 or f3.5-5.6. It's quite a big difference. Alright, all the way back now. All the way back. One moment, let me find a focus. Here we go. Okay, yeah, at this distance, you get quite a bit of the subject separation. Is much greater bokeh than the kit lens, obviously, and so it looks really nice and pleasing. So you can still pick out the subject from this distance. It's about 2 meters, maybe. Yeah, I would say it's about 2 meters. A little bit shorter than that, maybe. So yeah, this is like a portrait shoot distance, right? We're at the 30mm, which is 60mm full frame equivalent. It's not amazingly close, but you know, it's a little bit closer than, a little bit tighter than the 50mm. So it does have a little bit of versatility of the 50mm, but then a little bit more telephoto, something in between. Okay. And that will be it. That's this test. And thank you for watching. And hopefully this video can be helpful for your purchase decision. As for what lens you're gonna get when you're considering the f-stops, especially for Micro Four Thirds system. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.